Hello friends, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Meg. I post free hair education every single Monday, and this is what we'll be doing today. So this is my client, Judy. You have seen her before in episode 1, 13, 22. She's all over the place. She is one of my first clients in San Diego when I moved out here. And this is what we're going to be working on. So as you saw, she has a lot of silver coming in. So we have normally done permanent color on her, and now we are moving into, instead of covering it completely, doing a gray blending with a Demi permanent color. Later on in the video, I am going to get all into Demi versus permanent, what that means, what they do, and what it looks like. But right now, let's focus on our little Northern Lights blend underneath. So with Judy, we always do a fun hidden color under here, and I just basically have that whole halo sectioned around her head. Everything underneath is highlighted, and then we do the semi-permanent color. Everything on top is darkened. You can see in the other videos, we normally do that permanent color on the roots and then the highlights underneath, and maybe sometimes I'll throw in like a money piece or some highlights on top for her. So right now we are going to work on our little Northern Lights melt. I am using Danger Jones semi-permanent colors. My purple is straight Masquerade. Then I moved it down into a true blue, which was Solitude with just a little bit of Masquerade. Whenever I do a true blue formula and I don't want to risk it going teal at all, because if you remember, hair naturally has yellow in it. So sometimes if you put a blue onto yellow hair, you will not get blue, you'll get teal. So in order to keep it true blue, I like to put that little bit of purple in my blue formula. And I promise if you start doing that, it will change the game for you. Now, right here, I'm putting a little bit of the yellow at the tip first. That's just gonna kind of coat it. It's already a little blue and I don't wanna risk it being too green. I wanna try to get a little bit of yellow tone on those ends. So sometimes if I have a light color like that, I'll put it in before I go blending down. Now the color I'm putting here is Straight Oblivion, which is the teal color. So we've got the purple into blue into teal. I'm putting a little bit more of that yellow, and now in that little mid shaft between the teal and the yellow, I am using Adrenaline with a little drop of Oblivion. And remember, the Oblivion is the teal. So it goes down from purple, blue, teal, green, yellow. And that is going to be our melt. I am just going to follow that pattern down. As you can see, she has really fine hair, so I don't have to do super fine sections. I can take fairly large sections with her, especially since we are skipping the highlights this time. Normally, I only do highlights underneath on Judy maybe 3-4 times a year. So that's one thing that's great about the hidden hair color. You don't have to constantly be lightening it. If anything, sometimes I'll do the face frame, anything that's right in the front, because if you know, semi-permanent color does not cover gray. It kind of works the way that our Demi is going to, where it just kind of coats it a little bit and just kind of blends, but it's not full coverage like it would be on something that has been lightened. All right, so now that you have seen how I am doing the melt on her, I am following it around like I said. I am going to get more into the Demi-permanent versus permanent color while you watch me kind of work on this. So if you are familiar, when somebody starts to go really silver and they have a pretty good majority of their hair turning silver, if they have a dark permanent color that you're touching up their roots with, it is a very stark contrast as it starts to grow out. Now, Judy is starting to get a little bit more silver than she used to have, and the stark contrast was just starting to kind of bother her. So she wanted to move into something that would grow out a little softer. So with something like that, your options are pretty much, we can do highlights, or we can do Demi-permanent glaze, or we can do a little bit of both. So we decided her last appointment, I did some highlights on top and then we did a little Demi permanent just to see how she felt about it. She really liked it and liked that it was more translucent and not like a complete cover through her gray. So when it grew back, it wasn't as crazy or stark of a contrast. The absolute best analogy that I can give you to put it in like the simplest terms is when you're thinking of a permanent color, it's really opaque. It's going to be like leggings. And then when you're thinking of a demi-permanent color, it's going to be more translucent and it's going to be more like nylons. So we've got nylons versus leggings. I'm a very visual person, so I like to make little analogies like that. I feel like it's very helpful for me when I need to explain the kind of coverage, especially to my clients who aren't hairstylists. So we will be using the Danger Jones gloss toners once we get up to her gray blending, and you'll be able to see that it doesn't completely cover it. It just gives it that translucent, blended, almost highlighted feel. That way, when it starts to grow out again, it's a lot softer. Now, since we're on the last little section here, I'll just show you how I am painting this on. You can see her hair, like I said, is pretty fine, so I don't have to take as thin of a section as I normally would. We usually put that 1 pack of extensions in her hair, but right now she's swimming a lot, so we have no extensions in. And honestly, her hair feels really good, and it's great that we really don't have to lighten it or do highlights or anything. We can just do a little bit of semi and a little bit of demi, and she is done. But you can see how I kind of feather that down, make sure everything is really saturated. And then, like I was saying with the semi-permanent color, it's not going to completely cover her silvers, but we're not going for complete coverage anyway. It's gonna work out just fine. Putting that yellow in before I start pulling down my blues and greens. Get in our teal, really blend those colors together. Just like that. And then my adrenaline with the drop of oblivion. And once again, massaging it in that final swipe. That's my favorite, most satisfying part. Now, these Framar backwards bibs are fantastic for colors like this. I love to fold it up and just really stick it across the edge of the color and then fold it in and put it in place with a clip. That way I know that my demi-permanent color is not going to seep down and get onto my Northern Lights fun color. So here is our formulas. Judy likes to be nice and golden, chocolatey, warm. So I am using the 5-3, 7-3, and 7-8. The -3s are gold and then the -8s are browns. And the only difference between like an 8 brown and a 0 neutral is that the browns have more of that chocolatey tone to them, whereas your -0 neutrals are going to have more of that cool blue base tone to them. Now, I did pretty much equal parts of everything, so it's going to put us at about like a 6 base, and I am just going to apply all of this to just her roots first. Now, after I get all of this onto her roots, then I let that process for about 10 minutes by itself, and while that processed, I went back and I mixed up another bowl, but I just added more of the 7-3 and 7-8, not any of the 5-3. So it was just a level 7. So we have about like a 6 on the base, and then I'm going to melt it down into the level 7. But it's also going to give us that like extra 10 minutes on the roots to really help blend those grays. I want the roots to process for 35 minutes and then the ends are going to be like 20 minutes. So it'll be perfect because I don't need to get a whole lot of tone through those ends. It's a little bit faded because she swims a lot, but it's definitely not terrible. We're just going to deepen it up and get some more of those golden chocolatey tones in there. Just applying to all those roots, making sure she is fully saturated. getting those pesky hairs up front. I know you guys know those little hairs up front that love to poke out. Please, if they are like really popping out on somebody, lay a little foil down and it will change your life. I promise you. So this is where I was mixing up the other color. You can see she is processing. And after about 10 minutes of that sitting in, I am going to work this level 7 all through those ends. And just saturating with my little comb brush combo. If you have not bought one of these yet, I'm telling you, they are so great for toners and color melts. I love these brushes. This one is from Fraymar, but a lot of companies make them. YS Park has them. You can probably find them at any beauty supply, but they are great for color melts and toners. And I am just combing all of that level 7 through. Once again, it's a mixture of the 7-3 and the 7-8. So we've got a gold and a chocolate and just saturating all those ends. Then I'm going to let this sit for 25 minutes. After that, I just had to shampoo her little top portion. And I like to shampoo that first and have her kind of lay on the bib with her other hair still covered. Then after I shampoo all of that Demi permanent color out, that's when I'll bring the rest of it back and do an ice cold rinse through everything. Of course, followed it up with my K18 leave-in mask, and we added some little hair feathers, and look at that beautiful after. Those roots are gorgeous. We've got our nylons on, not our leggings. So you can see that little translucent, it's still covered, but it's not as opaque and flat as a permanent color would be. And our beautiful front, her little feathers we put in, they're so cute. I have them in my hair right now too. But look at that beautiful blend and how it's just kind of blending it and not completely flat coloring it. Such a difference up front. Here, let's do that before again. Ugh, amazing. Look at the difference. All of that silver is so perfectly blended in now. Look at, now it's just a little highlighty. And then as her hair grows out, it's just gonna look better and better. And we'll just finish with this gorgeous half up, half down photo. But thank you so much everyone for tuning in for another tutorial. Please like and subscribe for more free education every single Monday, and I will see you next week. Bye.